Hello, and welcome to another episode of the
Latin
Latin
voices.
Voices. Okay, so today, this is our topic for today.
Okay, the topic for today, courageous conversations, sharing your story to inspire and attract.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking today. So, but before we dive into our topic, let us introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but currently reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yesenia, but everyone knows me as Jessie. I'm a nurse by professional. I reside or live here in Ontario, Canada. Original from Cuba, and I also am online entrepreneur. I'm a mentor as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabel. I am originally from Mexico, but I live in North Carolina, USA. I'm a former educational assistant. I am a wife, a mother of three, a grandmother of two, a proud digital business owner, and a mentor.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Isabel. We also want to remind everyone that every Tuesday and every Thursday we have our live webinar. So we have one tonight at 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. So if you want to learn how you can start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is register in any of our websites that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. When you register into our website, you will receive an email that will contain two links. So the first one is to register for the live webinar. That link will take you to a page that will have two buttons, one for Tuesday, one for Thursday. So you can register for either one or for both. The second link that you have there is the link to the replay of the live webinar. So just in case you cannot attend the live webinar, that's not a problem. You can always catch up the replay and watch it from the comfort of your own home. In addition to that, we invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Um, so now you probably wonder, okay, so what I'm going to find out on the webinar? So on the webinar, you're going to find out how our online business plan works, and also you get to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. So let's find out who are going to be the hosts and panelists for tonight's live webinar.
Okay, so if you're ready to learn more about our business plan, register on any of the websites you see on the screen. Our host for today is going to be Karen and Chris. Um, Chris is a former firefighter, and Karen is a former elementary vice principal. Annie is a sales and marketing executive. We also have Rika, she's a registered nurse, and Tony and Rita are IT and recruitment.
Sorry, we also have Annabelle. She's a retired nurse. Radha is a former corporate employee. Manishabahem is a former break and mortgage business owner. And we also have Sangeeta, is a software engineer. So all these people are going to be on a live webinar today. Okay, so today is Thursday, June 5. Remember the times are 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. The only thing you need to do to have access to this is register with your name and email to any our website, and we'll send you the link.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Isabel. So our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages: that's Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. And our replay has subtitles in several languages. So there you go. Right. So like we mentioned, today we are going to be talking about this.
Our topic for today on Latin Voices is courage conversation, sharing your story to inspire and attract. So we're talking about how to share your story, and if you want to know a little bit more, keep watching us.
Yes. Okay, so let's get real. Sharing your story online can feel scary. Okay, so You're probably asking yourself, is my story even worth telling? Or what if people judge me? Or what if I'm too vulnerable? You know, but here is the truth. Your story is your power, okay? Because um, your story is the one that will connect with a lot of people there. We might not connect with everyone, but there's someone out there that will connect to your story because they're going to relate to you. And today's on Latin Voice, we are going to talk about how to be how to have courage conversations, the kind that inspires others, attracting aligned people, and open doors that you never saw coming with your story. So today that's what we're going to talk. So we live in a world full of highlight reels, where everyone is showing the wins, the filters, the success, but what we are craving more than ever is the realness, the connection, the humanity, you know. So your story, especially the messy, the imperfect, the behind the scene parts, is what people connect to. You know why? Because your truth gives them permission to believe in what is possible for them. So they see in you, they see themselves. So if you're able to make it, to reach your dreams, so can they too. So they can too. My English is not so good today. Uh, okay, so what is today's points?
Okay, the points for today. Point number one, your story matters, even if it's not perfect. Point number two, speak from the heart, not the script. And point number three, your story attracts the right people.
Yeah, so those are the points we're going to be talking today. So let's dive in into the first point.
Okay, our first point is your story matter, okay? Even if it's not perfect, okay? Your story is unique. So is your story so empowered, okay? So many people wait to share until they make it, And because they always afraid I'm not there yet. What can I share if you're not there yet, okay? But your story has value right now in the middle of your journey, okay? So someone needs to hear how you started. Someone needs to hear they are not alone in their journey, on their fears, on their struggles. Someone is waiting for you, for your words to spark their courage. So this is really important, okay? Why we saying you don't have to wait to be perfect, because you're not talking when you're doing a business and you're sharing your story. You're not talking to the people that are already on the same spot that you are right now. Okay, you are talking to the people that you were, like the people that are target we call it. They are having or have the same struggles that you were having when you started the business. They want to feel familiar. They want to feel like they is your history or your testimony is the same that they're happening. Because what about you say, oh, I'm going to share when I have $1 million, but when you get the $1 million, the person that is making like the $20, it will not feel identified with you in a way, because they are not there yet. So it doesn't matter even if you just share your story, like the struggles, so people see that it's not an easy path, it's not fast, but you're keeping to your goals. So that give a lot. That just show you that it can be happen, it can be possible, because people will relate to you if it feel real. Okay, let's go to the sample. You don't have to be six-figure earner to inspire other. Maybe you left a toxic job. Maybe you start showing up for yourself. Maybe you just look that first leap into the known. That's powerful. Don't wait for a finish line. Share the middle. That's where the magic happens. When the magic is, people don't want to know, like, oh yeah, you got to the $1 million or the six-figure, but how do you got there? How you become all of the things they are going through right now? And that is what really empower and what really inspire to other people around you.
Thank you, Yessie. Yeah, so this point is good, right? Because everybody's stories matter. And sometimes we feel like our story is not powerful enough, but everybody has something to share and to inspire somebody else, right? And so, so many people wait to share until they make it, but your story has value right now in the middle of the journey. So, um, someone needs to hear how you started. And I always share that because when I started my journey, I was afraid and I was full of fear, right? And it wasn't like, okay, this is for me, I see everything, I'm ready, I have everything I need. No, it wasn't like that. I wasn't prepared, I had no experience, I didn't know anything, but I decided to take that action, that leap of faith, because I wanted a change. And so that's what it takes. You don't have to be ready, you don't have to be in the perfect moment. You just have to take that next step, to whatever it is that you're trying to do. So this is why we are always sharing our story, telling you how imperfectly we were when we started, but we wanted more. So always remember that for yourself as well. Someone else is waiting to hear your words and to hear your story, and your story is going to spark that courage in them, and they're going to decide, okay, well, if she could do it in that situation, if she could do it without knowing anything, so can I. And that's why there's power to sharing your story. And then the example, you don't have to be a six-figure earner to inspire others. Maybe you left a toxic job. Maybe you started showing up for yourself. Maybe you just took that first leap into the unknown, and that's powerful. And I think why we started this journey is because we wanted a different outcome. We were tired of that repetitive cycle of our jobs, and we're thankful for our jobs that we had because they paved the road for us, right? And they help us to get here. We learned something from them, but we wanted more time, we wanted more freedom, we wanted to be there for our families, and so that's why I started. So don't wait for a finish line, share the middle. That's where the magic is. And don't forget, even if you think you're going through a struggle right now, even if you think that you're not really making progress, always share and think of all the things that you're achieving, because right now you're making story, that the magic is happening, even if you don't notice that, even if you're not where you are making magic happen. So always be proud of that and keep going.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, so pretty much you have said all. What I can say here is that, um, like it's like Jesse and Isabel mentioned, we sometimes we think our story is not perfect because we tend to compare to other stories, and that's why we believe our story is not so powerful. But the truth is, like everyone's story is different. Every person out there is different, but there's someone out there that will connect to your story, and that's why it's important to share your story. And the other thing that I will say here, like, yeah, we tend to only show, for example, or wait for until we get results. Why? Document your journey, because that's how people are gonna see, how you started and how you got to where you are today, so they can see your whole journey along the way. And by you sharing your journey, from when you started all the way to, when you reach your milestone, you're gonna build that trust with them, because they saw, with how you started, not having, you know confidence many times, doing, for example, lives, we didn't have that confidence, but we try, and and they see how you are evolving. They see also, your results, like when at the beginning you might probably didn't have too many results, but along your journey you start to showing more results and more results. So they get to see how you are transitioned, from being, the beginning of your journey, and then throughout your journey, the middle, until you get, those results. So documenting your journey is very important, because that way, people are going to be connecting with you more, because they are going to follow in your journey along the way. So they see that, they're going to see that you are like them, just a normal person like you, um, that just decided to take action on to change their life. And because of that action, they started on a new journey. And through that new journey, they face some obstacles, they face some challenges, but even through those challenges, they keep going, because they wanted to reach their final destination, to build that financial stability, for them and for their family. So share your story, and document your story, and don't worry about, if you think that you might not resonate with someone out there, because there's someone out there that will hear your story and will connect with you. So point number 2.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Okay. Okay, so our point number 2 is speak from the heart, not the script. This is really important. Okay, so we're going to share a story. We're going to share a testimony, but we're going to do it from our heart. We're not going to make it up. We're not going to make it fancy. We're just going to say how it is. That's the main thing. Okay, because if you make it like a scripted, people will not believe it, that something like that will happen. Okay, so you want to make it the more human. You want to make it, make sure it's all real. Okay, people can tell when someone is not real, so don't overthink it. Okay, just speak from your truth. What was your life before you start this business or this journey? What fear or obstacles did you face? What made you finally say enough? I'm doing this for me or for my family. And how has your life changed since then, even in small ways? So these are some questions that we should ask. Okay, let's just go quickly for a small example. Why? Just do it from the heart. Why? What is this important? Because sometimes we just overthink things and say, my story is not that powerful, people will not listen to me, or I have my story have to be the same of J Lo, or the same of to someone that have completely different story, completely different background. Just because you think that someone to follow them, because you're going to make it same than them, it will happen to you. And that's not reality. That's not real. That's kind of fake, and people will see it. Okay, so when we talk our history, like when we're talking about our truth. For example, myself, uh, what was my life before I started this business? My life was going to work all the time onto my 9 to 5, picking extra chef, being always tired, comparing myself to other people out there, or like feeling like I was not enough because I was not there for my family, for my loved ones. So I was taking care of people, but I was not there for them. So in a way, I was feeling like bad, because yes, I was helping other one for like other people, but I was not there for my family. It's a good and a bad thing, but it's a way they have to do it, because I liked helping other. But I needed the money, so for my family to have that, I need to do this. So that was my life. That was that when I started, and I was frustrated. I think I have talked about it before, that I didn't know. I knew I needed change, but I didn't know what to do. Okay, so then I started this business that we're sharing with you today. And what obstacles did I face? Well, I faced a lot of obstacles. I didn't know nothing about computer. My computer was like an old computer. I didn't know nothing. I was like saving things, or watching things online, or making nice posts. I was using the internet just to connect with my family back home. So that thing, they have like 3 different accounts, or understanding how to connect them, answer to people. Sometimes I usually spend like 3 months after. That's when I was answering people, because I was not used to that. That was really my struggle. So and I learned. It's my journey, so that's something that I would share. It was not easy for me. I didn't understood the language. Not, like, I don't understand the English. I didn't understand the language of the internet. So it took me time to get there, but that was me. I'm okay with it because I'm so proud of what have I become from there. Okay. And what made me to feel to say enough. I saw other nurses, I saw other nurses out there. They were working 25, 30 years, to these companies, and they still have to keep working to keep that retirement, because, and they were like back pain, they were sick as well, and they were retiring, and like in 2 years we were seeing these nurses back to the nursing home or whatever because they didn't enjoy their life. So I was like, you work all of that time for like a year or a year and a half to go back to the same place where you started. I didn't want that. So that's when I stopped. Okay. So I start thinking about these things, and then you will see that your story will come after you. Okay. Let's quickly go to the sample here. A part of my crazy sample. Okay. One short video or a post about turning points your life can deeply connect with someone who is silently going through the same thing. We want to connect to other people because that's what we do, marketing. We're connecting to other people. They're feeling or have some life experience similar to ours. Okay. Connection came from courage, not to polish. Okay. So that's was my story, my little bit a pickle here. Hopefully you have some points about it. What do you think, Isa?
Thank you, Jesse. That was good. I like your examples that you give. So yeah, it's big from the heart. It is. There's so much going on. Everything is so overwhelming on social media because everybody's trying to, their reels and their stories and everything. You're like, wow, what a wonderful life this person has or whatever. But you really have to think about, are these people being real? Are they really sharing their truth, or they're just sharing, the things that they get to live every now and then? So, you know, right before I started this business, right at the pandemic, I was working in a corporate job, and I'm very thankful for that job because I worked there for over 20 years. But I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't happy there anymore because I was missing out. The most precious thing that I had was time with my kids. My kids were growing. I wasn't there for them. Nowadays I get to take care of my grandson, and I see him and I spend time with him, and I see how happy he is, and I'm like, you know I couldn't give that to my kids. I don't know if the people that care for them, that were babysitting them, actually gave them love or care for them as I care for my grandson. I wish I could have been there for them. But up until then, I was working, Monday through Saturdays, working long shifts, and I was missing a lot of time with my kids. I could never be there for their ceremonies at school, for their field trips, and that really breaks my heart every time I think about it. But uh, there was so many obstacles that I faced when I started doing this business because, like I said, I didn't have the experience. I didn't know anything, and I was full of fear, honestly, because I was like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But when I saw the webinar, when I saw our business plan, when I saw the community of people in this business, I was like, if they can do it, I can do it too, because there's so many stories in there that are so powerful. People that started from nothing, but even when they didn't have anything to invest, they decided to borrow money or whatever to start this business so that they can start um, working on the different life that they wanted. And so that's what I did. With all my fears, with all my doubts, I just started to do this business, and face my reality and be like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too, right? Um, what finally made me say enough was the time when my oldest daughter was preparing to go to college. That really hit me hard because I knew right then that as soon as she left to college, that after she graduated, she was going to start living her own life, working a full-time job, and maybe not coming back to live with us, And so I was like, I don't want this for the other two, because I still had two other kids. I was like, I need to find something that I can do from home to where I can be with my kids. And meanwhile, I was looking, I decided to start working for the school system as an educational assistant. And I was doing that, and it was fine for a bit, because I had the same schedule as my kids. When they went to school, I went to school. And even then, it was a little bit complicated, because I had to drive the bus in the mornings for to go pick up kids, and my son had to be picked up by another bus, so he still had to wait and wait for somebody to pick him up out there in the cold, in the rain, or whatever. And so I was like, no, this is still not it. So I kept looking for an opportunity till I came across this one. Has my life changed since then? Well, just having the peace of knowing that I'm here for my kids, because since January of this year, I decided to stay home fully and take care of my family. So now I'm here, when my son wakes up, I can give him his hot breakfast, take him to school, and just be with him, and take care of my grandsons as well, and help my parents. So it has given me the freedom I was looking for, just the flexibility, and the peace of mind knowing that I'm there if they need me, that I'm there all the time. I don't have to be rushing, I don't have to be asking for permissions, and I don't have to be missing anything anymore. So that's what it has changed. And apart from that, just my personal growth, believing in myself, and having that confidence in me now is totally different from before, because before I wouldn't be here, talking to you in front of a camera. But because of all this business, everything I've been doing, I'm able to do that now. So connections come from courage, not from polish. And that's true. I know that you may not be in the perfect spot right now, that you may think you have a million things, a million obstacles holding you back, but it takes courage to take this step. It truly does. Like I said, I wasn't ready, I was full of fear, but even then I decided to take the leap, because I was looking for something different, and I really wanted that quality time with my kids. So um, the perfect moment is never going to come. You have to really create it, and you have to be ready and decide that whatever you're going through is enough, and you're ready to change your story.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Isabel. So you guys already shared, about this topic over here. What I can share about this is like I can give you an example of how speaking from the heart you are able to connect. So one of our leaders in our community say that at the beginning, they were a little bit of ashamed to say that they didn't have enough money for retirement. But eventually, they faced those fears and decided to speak from the heart, like it says here, and say to that, when the reason why, they started this journey is because, they were approaching the retirement years, and they didn't have enough money to retire, to be able to live the life, the kind of lifestyle that they wanted. So once they open up to on their social media page, right, that's when people starting to connect and starting to reply to their story, because a lot of them are in the same position. So sometimes you have to be vulnerable and speak, and tell your story, because that's how people are going to connect with you, because they are people out there that are in the same situation as you. So seeing that, you took that leap of faith, and you are having results, like for example, they are having results, already they're already very successful, but they were afraid to say that, because they feel a little bit of ashamed. So but when you are vulnerable, people connect with you, because like you are like someone else, like anyone out there, and your story will relate to someone out there, so because they're gonna be on the same shoes as you. So this is what happened to them. They open up, saying the biggest reason why, they decided to start is because they didn't have money. And that's when a lot of people started to commenting, on their posts, because they were in the same situation. So they were an inspiration to them. So yeah, speak from their heart. Don't think that, what, that you feel ashamed to say something, because you never know, that will be the connection to someone out there that might be on the same shoes as you. And then they will be able to connect with you with your story. So speak from the heart, and don't start like say here, speak from the heart, not polish, not try to make it nice, just be you, your real, speak from the truth. Okay, so point number 3.
Okay, so point number 3, your story attracts the right people. And this is very true. When you're authentic, you naturally attract people who believe in your mission, relate to your journey, and trust your voice. You're not just creating content, you're building a community through a story and soul. And this is true, you that's why I say your story has power. So don't be afraid to share your story. The right people, the people that relate with you, the people that have been going through the same struggles, the same pains, people who have, you know dreams in common, they're going to connect with you. There's so many people out there waiting to be inspired, to be motivated, and your story could be that spark that, you know um, stars that helps them start their own journey and start changing their life. So don't be afraid about that. What is your mission? And my mission is to really inspire other moms that have going through those pains like me, where they couldn't be present for their kids, where they couldn't be there, to help them in the mornings that they miss, the Mother's Day celebration at school, that they couldn't go to their field trips. That's what I'm doing. My mission is to help as many as possible, because we deserve to be present for our kids. That's the most valuable thing that we have is our kids, and we deserve to be there for them. So always inspire people through your story and be genuine about it. Don't be afraid of it, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. Um, and the example is the most loyal clients and business partners are the ones who don't just buy into your product, they buy into your belief and your vision. And that starts with your story. So again, your story has power, and the people that uh, relate and connect and see themselves in your shoes are going to reach out. They're going to be there ready for you to help them. The more you show up as you, the more your tribe finds you. So be authentic, be real, and keep inspiring and showing up, for you and for others. There's nothing, there's so many people in this world, but there's only one of you. So share who you are, and don't hide it. Don't be ashamed. Maybe you went through so many limitations in life. Maybe your story has a lot of limitations and things that you grew up, in necessity of. But you can still be that leader, that inspiration for somebody else. So keep sharing your story.
Yes, I love that we are talking about this point number 3. I that's this is something that I learned. I was there, and I didn't understood that my story will attract people. So this is something that I learned to this business, and I hope so you have learned something for what we're saying, because don't think that people will judge you, or your story or your testimony is not enough, or it's not interesting. Stop comparing to other stories, more beautiful, more complicated, and more touchy. The important thing is this: your story, it will reflect you, it will reflect who you are right now. So uh, um, your story is gonna be I don't know how you call that. It's gonna be like your business, you know, because that's where you what you were, that's what you're happening right now, and this is where you want to be. So you want to inspire people with this business online. You want to inspire people through your story, you know, and doing this you will generate, you know, trust, because people will see the change, people will see your story, so they will trust you. And then when they trust you, there will be that emotional connection, you know, and then you're going to start inspiring these people or inspiring your target, you know, like I never thought that the someone like will connect with me, but then I look at it, how many immigrants out there, Latins immigrants are, we have like a reliable job here, you know, like a good job, like we have work our ass. Sorry for the word. We have worked, you know, so hard to get where we are right now, and then we get to the point that we just working, and we are not having enough time for ourselves and your family. Even if you're making money, you're not, you're looking for time freedom, you know. So it's really hard to change that mindset because you're seeing the money, and but you don't have the time freedom. So I didn't know there's something like that. People would identify with me. And now I know, and now I'm empowering this, you know, because I know that there are people out there with the same story they have. You know, there is a lot of hard workers, immigrants, they're being burned out, you know, they're being a layoff. They want that freedom, you know, that time freedom, and I know right now that my digital business will offer that, you know. So that's when we say that your story will attract the right people, because you want to identify, or you want to show your story so you can make that connection with the people. They have the same struggles that you have or you had. And yeah, so I think this is really important. And this is something that I learned. I also had, I was point one in the beginning. I didn't thought that my story would inspire someone else, and now I know. And that's what I'm proud of. Keep connecting to other immigrants and hard workers, you know, to keep changing their life and go for that time freedom that we're looking for.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Jesse. Yeah, yeah, you guys pretty much say everything here on this one. So yeah, your story will attract the right people. So when you are being authentic, you know, when you're sharing what is your mission, you know, what is you share your journey to them, um, they people are gonna start connecting with you, with your journey, with your beliefs, you know, um, with what is your mission, you know. Some people might be relate to, you know, like, okay, yeah, what I'm doing right now, you know, it doesn't have a purpose, but you know, now this business will allow me to have that purpose of sharing the journey. So it's like, yesterday I was talking to one member of the community, and I never saw that perspective of her lives, you know, like she wanted to be able to build something on her own, you know, be independent, you know, no, not because she's a stay-home mom. It's not like she had a career, but you know, like she decided to take care of her kids. So then she felt like lost along the way, you know, those years, you know. Now her kids are older, but she feels like she wasn't growing, you know, where she was, so she was feeling low. So when she found this online business opportunity, for her was like a new purpose for her, you know, being there to help other people, being able to grow, to learn new knowledge, you know. So everyone's journey, you know, is different, you know. I never heard like a reason, like I heard two different reasons. Like most of the people, you know, we always have the same reason why we started this online business, but there's some people out there that have different reasons. We have another example of another person who wanted to, again, was a retired person. She wanted to be able to connect with people because, you know, she felt alone. And when she found this online business opportunity, was her mission to, you know, to meet other people around the globe. So that was her purpose to start this journey, you know. and and when you find that purpose, that voice inside of you, and you share that voice, there's gonna be people who will share uh the same voice as you, and wanna be able to do that. And they probably, just like Jessie, she didn't think that there was something like this, before she found this online opportunity. And then she was able to find it. So when you find something like that, it's like me too, like in 2018 when I saw those digital nomad, I wanted to live that kind of lifestyle, but I didn't know how they were doing it. I had no idea. And then 5 years passed, and because of a setback, I fall into this ad, and then I found, how to be able to build that kind of lifestyle. So, um, sharing your journey, your mission, your story, what you believe, that voice that you have inside, a lot of people will connect with you, and those people that um, are related to what you believe, to what you're fighting for, will connect with you, and then you want to create that community in your social media platforms that um, are gonna follow you, and because they want also, some change in their life, same as us. So and then you're gonna be able to attract those people that have the same belief as you, because they believe in what you are sharing, and they are seeing sharing your journeys. That's why, the previous point we were saying, document your journey, from the beginning to the end, because they get to see you along the way, how you've been changing along the way, and how your life is changing. So um by being, authentic, and speaking from the heart, and having your voice, and your mission, that you will attract the right people. The right people will connect with you because of your story, because of your journey, because your values, because of your mission, and because of your voice, what you are voicing, them as a message on your page. And that's how you want to create your tribe or your community. All right. So, what are the key takeaway from this topic?
Okay, so key takeaways for today. Your voice is your superpower. So if you've been hiding behind fear, waiting for the right words or the perfect moment, this is your sign to start now. Be real, be bold, be you, because your story has the power to inspire someone to take their first step, attract people who align with your vision, and remind others that imperfect progress is still progress. Don't underestimate your journey. It could be the exact message someone needs today. So don't be afraid. Take that first step. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because you have to create that moment, and that moment is now.
There you go. So we have arrived to the end of our life. So we hope so that, what we share with you today, you have learned something, to not be afraid to share your story, to share your voice, what your belief, um, and your missions. So if you decided to take, on this entrepreneurship, online entrepreneurship, you have an idea of how to connect with your audience, and you don't do the same mistakes, we did, and finding out along the way, how to be able to connect with them, and believe in our story, because we tend to not to believe in our story, because, we tend to compare to others, and that's a mistake. We should be we should feel proud of our story, you know because that's who we are, and we should share that to others, because, they will relate to your story. So yeah, so like, if you like what we share with you today, or if you wanna add to it, like you wanna comment or you wanna share something, just put it in the comments and let us know. We'll be happy to read your comments, and share it with the community too, because sharing is caring, and we're learning together here. So that's the other reason. Okay, so if you want to learn, how you can start your online business and start earning online, All you have to do is just register in any of the websites that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. So when you register into our website, you will receive an email that will contain two links. The first one is to register for the live webinar. So we have live webinars actually every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST, and we have one tonight. So if you register into our website, you can still catch the replay from last Tuesday. So you can watch that one and then watch the one from tonight. So because on that same email, you will have the link to register for the tonight's live webinar. So that link will take you to a page that will have two buttons, one for Tuesday and one for Thursday. So you can register for either one or for both. And the other link that you get there is the replay of the live webinar. So if you still have time today before 5 p.m. PST or 8 p.m. EST, you can still catch the replay, watch it, and then watch tonight's live webinar. So that way you will have a better understanding, hear more stories from the panelists, who are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. Every live webinar that we have is a different host and different participants. So you get to see different people from different walks of life sharing their story. So in addition to that, we also invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. So, well, I mentioned a little bit, what you're going to find out on the webinar. As I mentioned, you're going to hear from the panelists, but also you're going to find out how our online business plan works. So that's the other thing. So make sure that you watch the webinar completely because that's the only way that you're going to be able to understand, and then once you get invited to the private Facebook group, you can ask questions and the person who invite you. And also, then at that moment, if you want to know further in detail about the business, then you proceed to the next step, which is paying the 149 US, where you're going to find out more in detail about the business. So, like all different income streams, the type of products that we have, and all that. So, and at that moment, you have 30 days to do your due diligence, so make sure that you watch all the information that is given to you. You have access to our private Facebook group community so you can see more stories and postings there about the business. And you can do your due diligence, take your time to find out. And then if you're ready, you can proceed to the next step, which is booking your coaching call. But if you think that this is not for you, that's okay too. You can get your 149 refundable within 30 days as long as you don't proceed to the coaching call. So, but that gives you the opportunity to see, what is this business entitled, for. So that gives you, like information about the business to see, if this is an opportunity that might be for you or it might not be for you. So we'll give you that opportunity to you to find out. So no strings attached, you just you have the free information session is free. And then when you proceed to the next one, you have 30 days to get your money back if this is not for you. So let's find out who are the hosts and panelists from tonight's live webinar.
Okay, so if you're ready to learn more, you can register on any of the websites you see on the screen to watch our live webinar tonight. Our host for tonight is this power couple here, Chris and Karen. Chris is a former firefighter, and Karen is a former elementary vice principal. We also have Annie. She's a sales and marketing executive. Reika is a registered nurse. And we also have Tony and Rita, an IT professional and a recruitment.
We also have Annabelle. She's a retired nurse. Radha is a former corporate employee. Manisha Bahin, a former brick and mortar business owner. And we also have Sangeeta is a software engineer. So all these people are going to be on a live webinar today, June 5th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So the only thing you need to do to get access to this a wonderful live webinar is just register with your valid name, with your name and a valid email to any of our websites, and you will get access, and we send you the link and all the information about our business model.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Jesse. So yeah, so I think Chris and Karen are the host. So the example I was giving you before about, not having enough money for retirement, that's the story of Chris and Karen. So if you want to hear the full story of them, yeah, you can register for the live webinar and watch that uh, tonight's webinar. Um, so our replays has subtitles in several languages, and our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages. That's Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. So there you go. So um, now you know that if you want to learn more, how to start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is just register in any of the websites on the screen, and we'll be happy to send you that invitation to watch the webinar. Or if you register earlier, we can send you also the replay of Tuesday's live webinar, so you can catch the replay before tonight's live webinar. So that way you have more understanding of the business. Now, we want to say thank you to everyone that has watched the live with us today. And for those catching the replay, thank you so much. To our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey, for believing in us, and for engaging with our content. For those who doesn't follow us, you can follow us here on Facebook to get to know us a little bit more, who we are, and what type of content we post in our pages. For those watching us on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe to our channel and press that notification bell to get notified when we post new content and when we are going live. So that way you get informed, about this online business opportunity that we are showing. And at the same time, you are learning, because it's not, sometimes we will have guests in our pages, but also we have information where we teach you and we show you, behind the scenes of being an online business entrepreneur. So we want to say thank you to Bruno Calwila Mutambai, Elia Tafaya. Thank you for your like emoji. And also thank you to Patsy One for her heart emoji. So thank you for watching the live with us today, and for your like and heart emojis.
Thank you so much.
So let's find out what is our topic for our next Thursday.
Okay, our topic for next Thursday is visibility with intention. How to build trust and influence online. All right. So if you want to know more, just watch us next Thursday on Latin Voices.
Yes, that's right. So we're going to be talking about how to consistently show up online in a way that builds authentic relationships and long-term success. So don't miss it. And we also have something for the audience.
Okay, so what part of your story are you ready to share? Drop a word, a sentence, or just these emojis here in the comments if this spoke to you. Let's get courageous together.
Yes, so that's what we're going to be talking today. And like we mentioned, we have arrived to the end of our life. So we want to say thank you to everyone. And we want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Thursday for those who are on Thursday, and a happy and blessed Friday for those who are on Friday. So thank you again for being here with us today. And until the next episode of the
Latin
Latin
Voices.
Voices.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. God